limit. But certainly they have a helicopter overhead, and for now at least they're confident that being in tracking mode is the best thing to do.
Yeah, well, you can certainly see this driver is not caring if they're in tracking mode or not, still taking extreme risks right now. And you know, I bet a lot of people, Philip, are happy to see burglary suspects being chased because so many people are really on like a heightened sense of anxiety with so many burglaries happening right now.
Well, Scott, just as we rejoin you here, I don't see tracking mode. I see an officer right behind him there on the ground. So, yeah, we've got from the air. Is this a change here to see that officer in a cruiser right behind him?
It is, yeah, it is, you know, but it happens like that, Philip. It happens all the time. When the vehicle gets into a different area, you have different officers, you have a different supervisor possibly. We're down into 77th Division now, and so they will make different decisions on how they're going to proceed with this pursuit. And you see how challenging it is for us. We're over the Harbor Freeway, and we can't really go east or west of the Harbor Freeway when there's a pursuit ongoing and LAPD has a helicopter overhead. Again, that's because of sequencing and altitudes with the aircrafts coming into LAX. So we're just staying in one spot, and basically everything is dependent upon where the vehicle goes. But we'll see that from time to time, Philip. They'll be in tracking mode. The suspect will start to drive more erratically, and you can see the speeds are getting pretty high now. I don't know if we can get our real-time speed tracker on that or not, but the speeds look pretty high for what is probably a 35 or 40 mile an hour posted area here traveling southbound on Main. But we do see the change from time to time. We'll get a patrol car behind him. If he does start to take off or drive more erratically, they'll try to decide whether or not they're content to just have the helicopter overhead.
Yeah, you see that driver losing a little bit of control right there, but they are cooking on these streets.
Well, also one of the things that you're noticing, oh, there's a crash.
Oh,
he just hit that car. He's been having a difficult time navigating these areas. And one of the things I was noticing, Scott, is we don't see a lot of electric vehicle chases, but the ability to accelerate with these cars is so dramatic. And you can see the cruiser behind. Now he's on foot.
He's running for it.
So we do have a person on the run.
So we came around that corner. Yeah, we came around that corner, slammed into another vehicle. We'll see that here in just a moment. And then couldn't go too much further, it looks like. And now officers are on foot right behind him. They'll have the suspect in custody here in a moment, more than likely. Rather, it almost never happens in a situation like this that a suspect gets away. But you can see more units are pouring into this area. They're setting up a perimeter to try and catch this suspect. But slamming into that vehicle, we didn't see much further there. Do you see the vehicle there? It might have been damaged so badly they couldn't continue.
Well, we also possibly have two suspects. You know, we didn't know how many people were in the vehicle at this, but we see two doors open. We saw one person jump out, and again, the speeds this person was driving, it was difficult to navigate that turn and then maintain that narrow pathway down the middle of that street. But it does look like that's going to make it more difficult, correct, Scott? Because they have to secure an area with two people now, unless one of them is still in that vehicle.
Yeah, and the way they're moving around with all the vehicles, trying to get to different areas, all the patrol cars, it looks to me like you're correct, that there probably are two suspects at least that got out of the vehicle. We could only see one. So now they set up a perimeter. You know, now they try and maybe if the suspect isn't caught right away, they'll get a canine out here and they'll start a search. But hopefully that won't happen. We're off of 98th and Main Street, basically, the South Los Angeles area. So obviously you live in this area. We don't know much about these individuals. They were first called out as burglary suspects. We don't know if they're armed, but it can be extremely dangerous. If they're desperate, it wouldn't be the first time we see them trying to carjack another vehicle, or carjack a vehicle, I should say, or try and hide in someone's home. So it can be pretty dangerous. So I just want to get this area out. It's 99th, between 99th and 98th and Main Street in South Los Angeles.
Yeah, and I can only imagine these residents in these homes. They're hearing all the helicopters overhead, and you really did see the LAPD.
Is that a person there?
I can't tell. I'm having a very hard
time. They got
time.
one?
Oh,
it sounds like they have one in custody. We're hearing that. You know, it's unfortunate. Inside the Bravo, we just cannot go right over top of this and really get a good look. It's just because of the traffic going into LAX and separation between us and the LAPD helicopter. It looks like we see the suspect right there in the back of the house. You see that?
Yep, I do. And it looks the person looks familiar when we saw the person running out.
There's one running right there. That looks like the person we saw initially.
Running. Yeah. But boy, this is so scary.
We don't, there's running, you know, running like that, the helicopter's going to see him in a heartbeat. I thought he was in an alleyway, but he went down to Main Street, now running behind into the back of one of the homes and into the backyard. I think they're going to catch him pretty quickly. LAPD does have a helicopter overhead, and I believe we have some information that one suspect was taken into custody. We believe that, Marcel? Yeah, the passenger was taken into custody, just one outstanding, and there you see him in the back of that home, really not even trying to hide. So there you go, hiding a little bit up against the wall and now trying to jump a wall into somebody else's backyard. They should get him into custody pretty quickly, I would think.
This is what makes it so dangerous for officers and for people who live in this community is the fact that the officers are looking for him and they can't see when he's coming out from behind a fence or what necessarily yard he's in. And then you've got a person that's possibly sitting at home and all of a sudden somebody comes into their backyard. So this is when it gets really dicey and really difficult for all of the parties involved. It is good news that there's the one person already in custody. But now you've got people who are commuting, people walking around, and the potential for carjacking is still there. And, you know, of course, harm to just a person who just might be at home. Just watching, watching TV. Somebody can just break a window and get inside. That would just be terrifying. We see him going down that alleyway there. You got him, Scott. And you have an officer right there behind him, it looks like.
Yeah, we can't go around the bend there to show it to you, but it appears from what we're hearing on the scanner, they have the second suspect in custody. So yeah, it looks like they're in custody. Yeah.
You can see the officers running to the area behind that building, which indicates that he's there and with other officers.
Correct. We believe he's in custody. I mean, we heard it on the scanner, so we're just passing that along. It looks like both suspects, if there were two are now in custody down that little alleyway there. So it appears this is all over. We didn't really get the collision. He was driving pretty erratically, came around that corner, slammed into a parked vehicle. Thank goodness it was a parked vehicle, right? We don't believe anyone was hurt.
Well, Scott, we're showing that video right now for you.
Okay. Go ahead. I can't see it, so go ahead.
I was just going to say that what you were just talking about, we queued up, and it's showing over here on the right. Didn't realize you wouldn't be able to see it, but here it is one more time. As he made that corner, just couldn't navigate it at that speed and ran right into the back of it. Looks like a small SUV there, and that's what he was. It didn't completely disable the vehicle, but I'm going to guess sometimes with Teslas and other newer vehicles, you get in a collision like that, your car is pretty quickly disabled, and so they couldn't continue driving. And then here's where we are, where the two people jumped out of that Tesla and took off. And Scott, do they have the second suspect now in custody? Is that the person we saw running through the neighborhood?
Well, we believe so. Yeah, we believe that's a second suspect. We believe they have all the suspects in custody, and nobody was hurt in this incident as far as we know. So that is good news. The area is safe now. The two suspects that were outstanding, it appears now they're both in custody.
Oh, that's a relief. All right, Scott, thank you so much for that live report.
Hold on, we're hearing some information. They may be searching for one more. So sometimes it's a little sketchy what we get, but it appears now we're hearing that there still is one suspect outstanding. You know, bear with us. We're getting information over the scanner, and not even all the information they give to each other is always specifically accurate. You know, just too chaotic. There's too much going on. But now it appears one we know for certain in custody, and now one still outstanding.
All right. Well, we are going to stay on top of this. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this.